Hello everyone, my name is Zyna Obasi and you are welcome to yet another episode of The Waiting Room with Zyna. Wow, it's an amazing day. Hello Instagram viewers, I hope we are okay, we are doing well. I see Jibeze, okay, he has joined. Thank you for joining us, and I see some people have joined us on Zoom. I also know some people have joined us on Facebook. Welcome. My name is Zyna Obasi. I'm the author of this amazing book, The Waiting Room with Zyna. So please, if you have not got your copy, just check on our bio. You will see all the information you need to get a copy of Zyna's Waiting Room. And this program, in case you are joining us for the first time, The Waiting Room with Zyna is an offshoot of that amazing book. That book right there was a kind of summary, some parts of it, not everything, some kind of summary of what I went through in my waiting room experience, and a little bit of others experiences as well that I gleaned from here and there, and put it in a book form so it can help those of us who are still in the waiting room. You get to know how to navigate through the roller coaster and all of that in the waiting room. So please get your copy. It's really important that you do that, because that book will help you, to go through your own waiting experience in a way that at least you will not be feeling alone. But that's just why we had to start it. And today we have a very interesting topic for you. Yes, and the topic says working on your relationships while you are in the waiting room. You and I know, if you're in the waiting room, I'm sure you know that the experience of the waiting room really affects your relationships in so many ways. So today we're going to have maybe 2 or 3 weeks to talk about this topic, because it's really important that we focus on it very well. So today I'm going to pick on 3 parts of it. I'm going to talk about the relationship between you and God. I'm going to talk about the relationship between you and your spouse, or yourself, and then that of your spouse. And then next week we're going to talk about the relationship between you and your in-laws, and if time permits, we'll look into other experiences as well. But today we're focusing on you and God, and you and your spouse. At least both of you are in the journey together. Okay, so please guys, reach out to all your friends, your neighbors, your sisters, your brothers, your colleagues right now. Just reach out and type and invite them. Send them the links on Instagram. Send them the links and ask them to join. If you are joining us on Facebook, do same. If you're on Zoom, do same. Just tell them to join. It's going to be an interesting opportunity. It's not just for those people in the waiting room. This program is beyond the waiting room. It's beyond the experiences of the waiting person, because it helps those of us who are no longer in the waiting room to understand how the people in the waiting room, are dealing with the stress of the waiting room. So please reach out to everyone you know to join this program right now. And if you're watching us live, please type something. Just say hi Zyna, so to encourage me, so I know you're with us. Just type hi Zyna, or give me a thumbs up, or give me any emoji that appeals to you, so that we'll go on together, so I will know you are watching. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you will get all the links and everything by the end of the show. And if you're watching later on YouTube, you're going to see all the details. So don't forget to join us, subscribe on YouTube, like, share, and also hit the notification button so you get the notifications whenever we are on. And for those of you on Instagram, don't forget to invite your people. Type there as well. And I can see someone else has joined. Okay, Macaselian, okay, thank you for joining. Just keep inviting people. Thank you very much. All right, and we also have a Telegram group that has already started. We have almost 70 people on that group right now. So this week we're going to start. We're going to have weekly communication with everybody in the Telegram chat room. That Telegram chat room is for those in the waiting room. We are going to have meetings, talks, and kind of one-on-one if they want to, just to help people understand that they are not alone in this journey. We being together and rubbing minds and all of that will help us navigate through the challenges of the waiting room. Trust me, it is not easy, okay? It's not easy at all. So I want to start with your relationship with yourself. How is your relationship with yourself? When you're in the waiting room, you experience a lot of lonely times. I say that because I was there for 17 years and I understand the ups and downs. I got to a point I started withdrawing from people. I mean, there were a lot of reasons, part of which was you don't want to go to a gathering and people will single you out. And some people know how to do that. I don't know, sometimes it's out of ignorance, sometimes it's out of maliciousness, I don't know. Some people just know that you are not a mother and they want to let everybody around know that you are not a mother, and they call you out in the presence of everyone. People who are meeting you for the first time, maybe you are not in the mood to deal with that on that particular day, but people start singling you out, asking you obvious questions, making passing comments and or directing the comments at you, and you find yourself wanting to defend yourself. Sometimes you feel like the ground should open so you can hide yourself, because that's not what you want to deal with at that time. Maybe you attended a child's child dedication or someone's kid's birthday or school graduation or any of those things. So I got to a point and decided myself that I was not attending any of those anymore. I mean, they weren't even inviting me so much anyways. That's another thing, because sometimes people don't also know how you react, so they will not invite you most of the time. So I decided myself that I wasn't going to attend anymore. I just stayed away from all of those. So you experience that time that you are alone. It's not really that good, because when you find yourself always alone, loneliness will creep in, depression will creep in, and when people treat you in certain ways, it affects the way you relate with them, and you begin to internalize all of those feelings. You begin to have resentments towards them, begin to avoid them, and that distancing between you and people can lead you straight into depression. So you start avoiding people, stop attending in events. Some people actually stop attending church. I've experienced some people's stories that they stopped attending church just completely, especially in churches where they have a certain day of the week for dedication of babies. Such people, most times women, avoid such days, because when they come out to rejoice with the rest of the people, someone from the right and the left and the back, everybody will be touching them and telling them, you are next in Jesus' name. I'm not saying it's wrong to say that, but it kind of messes with your head when you are in that situation. You just want people to focus on other things for once, not on you. So when all the attention and all of that, they are all on you. They are touching you, they are praying with you, they are pushing you, they are shoving you to the front to go receive some prayer. It messes with your head. So my question is, you that you are in the waiting room, how are you mentally? And I'm saying this because I know how it affected me. Until I gave myself a talk, I really sat myself down and I said to myself, I'm nobody's trash. If you watch the earlier episodes, I think the first or second, I did speak on this. Please, if you didn't watch it, just go back and watch on YouTube. Just go back and watch. I did speak about it because I'm like, I'm nobody's trash can. You can't just come dumping things on me. So I decided to speak back. When people see me and say certain things that don't sit well with me, I go back and tell them no. I told a story of a guy that met me and said he was praying and he received a revelation that he was a woman from my husband's family, an old woman that was the result of blah, 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 or the reason. And I had to go back to him some other day, because that day when he finished talking to me, I felt numb. I just couldn't react. But when I thought about it, I said no. I looked for him. Some days later, I found him and I called him and I addressed him directly on the road. And I told him, what you said to me was not meant for me. I gave it back to him. And I said in these words, I said, I want to give it back to you because it's not for me. Because who are you referring to? My mother-in-law? I told him, I said, my mother-in-law is more spiritual than you can ever be in your whole life. Because if I didn't do that, and then You don't know how these things mess up with your brain. Maybe tomorrow my mom will call me and then we'll start having an argument and she will say something and then I'll begin to think, no. Do not let someone mess with your head. So you need to, first of all, protect yourself. Self-care is very important. If they invite you to something you are not feeling up to going, do not go. Someone will say, yeah, if you don't go, they will think you are not happy with them. If you don't go, they will think maybe you are jealous. If you don't, no. You need to take care of yourself first. If you know you are not in the mental state to attend, do not go. Stay back and take care of yourself. But while staying back, don't let yourself slip into depression. Work on yourself. And that brings me to what I told myself. I said, I got to the point where I had to know that, number one, God loves me. And then I had to know it and trust God, that God is my God. Like I am His and He's mine. So that relationship between you and God, do not mess with it. Don't play with it. Because people will push you to the point where you begin to doubt God. They want to limit God to the things that you are getting from Him. Even in church, it happens every day. If you are praying for something and you don't get it, someone will want to make you believe that you are either not believing enough, you don't have enough faith, or God has not forgiven you, and they just push you to that place. You don't limit God to the things you have. I understood this for myself. I came to the realization that life is a journey. I'm on a journey with Him. And I do not know, I wasn't there when He wrote my script. And I still don't have the template. I don't have it. I don't have the blueprint of my life. I only hear a little bit of what He tells me. And when He tells me, I run with it. And what He has said clearly that I understood was that He loves me and that all His plans for me are for my good, to bring me to my expected end. I have to internalize it and I have to digest it for myself, for my own peace of mind. So at a time, my husband and I decided that we're not going for any altar call anymore. We just told ourselves that we're no longer attending to any altar call, any program, fruit of the womb and all of that. We just stopped attending. We told ourselves, it's over, we're done. And good thing we had just moved from Port Harcourt to Lagos at that time. So we got to Lagos, to a new place, a new church, a new environment. People don't know us. And my siblings were always bringing their children. So people really did not know my story. And we were okay like that. Because you need that mental care for yourself. So how are you with yourself? Work on that relationship with yourself. Love yourself, care for yourself, and believe that God loves you. Do not let someone else push you to a corner or in a box where you begin to doubt God and forget who you are. So please, I'm speaking to you, man, woman, anybody in the waiting room, whatever you're waiting for, because you might not be waiting for children and you're watching me, you're waiting for a husband, waiting for a life partner, whatever you're waiting for, just know that you are enough and that God loves you enough. So understand where He's taking you from. Go back and watch the other episodes. I did speak about why you're waiting, why you are waiting. I did speak about it about I think 3 weeks ago. So go find that and listen and watch it. Another thing is for you to work on your relationship with God. Work on your relationship with God. So you need to get to the point where you understand that God is for you. Work on that relationship. Don't let anybody, I know I've entered a little bit into that topic. Don't let anybody, take you away from God. Work on that relationship between you and God. Now, the next one I want to talk about is your spouse. And this one is like the cocoa of the matter. Your relationship with your spouse is bound to suffer. Trust me, it's bound to hit the rocks here and there when you're in the waiting room. So many things cause that to happen, okay? Relationship between spouses deteriorate. Some even end up in divorce or separation totally when they are in the waiting room. It happens all the time. So if the couple who is waiting don't take care of themselves, their relationship, so many factors, so many things can cause their marriages to suffer. And those factors are so many things, between secrets, Because sometimes you are in the waiting room and maybe you had a past that you didn't want your spouse to know about. And this is not about throwing shade or shaming people or blaming people or judging anybody, because listen, you see, in this life, people who judge people are people who are ignorant. I always say you are ignorant when you judge people. You are very ignorant, because if you understand that you too, looking at yourself, you have made certain mistakes that even someone will tell you that you made these mistakes in your dream, you say, no, I couldn't have done that. So until you are in that same situation, same frame of mind, same age, same place, same time, where whoever did whatever, don't judge. So sometimes people go through certain paths and they are not enlightened enough when they are getting married to share. Not everybody knows that, okay, you should share your secrets or share your past and all of that. Some just get married without sharing those things. Fine, now we are here. Maybe you did some things in the past and it's affecting you now, and you didn't tell your spouse. So you find yourself in the waiting room. What do? When you find yourself in the waiting room and the doctors begin to ask questions, and the stories of the past begin to come back, and when it comes to light, the other spouse, you know what is going to happen. Sometimes the spouse, the other spouse decides to not forgive. And they get to the point where they say, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with you again. These things have happened over and over. And they get to the point where they maybe say, threaten to even end the marriage. So such things can cause a discord in the marriage. Such things can cause the couple to begin to have that, distance between them. So when you have a spouse that has done something in their past, and you get to find out now that you're in the waiting room, what do you do? Do you judge them, condemn them, hate them, totally, ostracize them? Or do you understand that, okay, this was done in the past? Yes, he didn't tell me about it. Yes, she didn't tell me about it. But he or she is sorry now. We are in this together. This is when you now remember those vows that you made to each other while you were dancing and carried away. So you have to look at those vows, and you have to look at yourselves and like, okay, these things were done before I even came into the picture, or even while I was there, but it is in the past and they are ready to move on. How can we navigate together? How can we move on together? If it is a case of total unrepairable situation where maybe the womb is damaged or the genitals damaged or something just happened that nobody can recover from that, what do? Do you put a nail on the coffin and say, for sure we're not going back? Or do you work together? Do you put yourself in that situation? What if it was me? What would I expect this man to do or this woman to do? What do you do in that situation? Do you come together, both of you, and say, okay, this is our problem, we'll walk through it, we'll forgive each other, and we'll move on for real? Those are the things we need to put in our head, because all of those things are happening today. Another thing is realities that are uncomfortable to discuss. They surface when you're in the waiting room. What do? When they tell you that your sperm is very, very low or no count at all, can you be comfortable enough to discuss it with your spouse? Can both of you sit down and talk about it? Can your spouse tell you that, see, this is how it is? So the doctor said this, the doctor said that. Can both of you sit down? Because it's not just the man's problem or the woman's problem. These things happen every day. Sometimes I've heard women who said, what? You don't have what? I'm done. And they take off. I say, look, I'm done. And the man is not the one running after them. Or in other cases, the man experiences this or goes for the test and they tell him he hides his secrets. He hides his test result. That one, I've seen it several times. You hide your test result. You don't tell the woman. You're not also cheating yourself. You don't tell your wife that, okay, the doctor said I don't have enough or I don't have at all. You hide your result of the low sperm count or no sperm count, and these are treatable. I and you don't go for treatment. You just completely stay away from it. This has nothing to do with your ego. Look at it. You want to be a father. So what do? It is something that both of you need to work together. Sometimes men just judge their wives and say, if I tell my wife this, she's no. How are you telling her? Do you give her that respect? Call her, sit her down and say, babe, look at what he told me. Hold hands with her and share this information with her. Any woman I know, I don't know so many, but the few ones I know, they are reasonable to the fact that you are respecting me and recognizing me to the point that you're calling me to tell me this. They will guide, they will keep you, they will hold you, they will be there with you. But when you hide that under the, share or something, and she finds it one day, then you have escalated a problem. Because getting that result from that, or finding it like that, means that you're hiding something from her, and then it will escalate the whole issue. So are you going to be, plain enough to sit down together and discuss this matter one-on-one, and then find solution to it? And when they prescribe your supplements, you actually take them. Men, you don't like taking swallowing drugs and taking medications, we know, but it depends on what you're looking for. In this case, you want to be a father. So what do you want to do? Everything they are saying you to do, you should be able to put yourself aside. Put your pride, your ego, whatever it is, aside for the good of the family. And that is why I always say, if you're in this, you have to work together as a couple, as a team. Another problem we experience in the waiting room is sex. Before you enter the waiting room, you're having sex as normal husband and wife. You just got married, you are crazy about it and all of that. Then the doctors come and then they mark your ovulation chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. These are the days. When they finish that calculation and give you the chart, sex becomes a routine, becomes a boring clinical exercise. So I've experienced a lot of women say when they now call their husband, the husband will just fake something and not come back home. He would stay, work late, and come back quarreling, because nobody wants to be forced into it. So how do you enjoy it without making it look like a job? Both of you have to talk about it. It just boils down to communication. Both of you have to talk about it and say, okay, this is how it is right now. This is the reality of that. The problem with us is that we always like to live in denial. If we can focus on the problem and face it head, see, we have issues. These are the issues. This thing now is like a clinical, we can laugh about it, play with it and joke with it and say, this is now like boring, whatever. But how do we help ourselves in this? You can come up with ways of making it more fun. You can decide, it's a conscious effort that you have to make, so that at the end of the day, you don't slip into that place where you face east and he faced west on the day you're supposed to work together. So because you have to work together. So if you're a couple and you're watching me, or one of you is watching, the other one is not, you need to sit down and work together. You need to discuss and communicate with each other. So at the end of the day, you will achieve the goal that everyone is looking for. And everybody will be happy. You'll be mommy, this will be daddy. So at the end of the day, you forget about the past experiences and enjoy your children. Because sometimes the reason why we are even in the waiting room is because of all these things I'm mentioning. Some people prolong their stay in the waiting room because of what I mean, as simple and as minute as they are. So if maybe the ovulation chart that I've given you would have worked this 2020, the month of May, and you missed May, what do you think would have happened? You keep missing this month, missing that month. It's once a month. And some women, theirs is not even every month. So when it's about to happen, you're supposed to take the thing serious. Hammer the thing as they come. That's the time to be quarreling and facing east and west. You want something, get it done. Because the funny thing is, if it is your job, you will be serious at it. If this is a job that they gave you, serious at it. So hammer the thing. It's your own, after all. So find a way to work together, both of you, and then do it. Get it out of the way. Moving on to the next topic. The blame game. Now this one, couples blaming each other, or rather than focusing on the problem and trying to find solution to it, they keep blaming each other. It's your fault, it's your fault, it's my fault, it's your fault, you did this yesterday. No, this is not the time to play the blame game. When you were single, I found out from your friend, in fact your best friend told me everything about you. Who asked you to go and ask his best friend or her best friend? Like I said earlier on, we have made past mistakes. Yeah, maybe you didn't hear it before you got married, but now that you are here, what do you do? How do you move from here to the next level? You have to work together. You have to communicate. You have to carry each other along. Because if you don't do that, you will not get the result you're looking for. And children are not commodities that you hop and buy everywhere. You have to, even if you're going for adoption, you still have to work together to achieve it. So the earlier we came together, work together to achieve this greater goal, the better for the family. Okay? So now, what I have to say is that couples who do not plan well get into money troubles. And this further strains their love. This is another issue. Money is very important in the waiting room. If you are not boxed up, it will affect your waiting experience, because when you have to go for the hospital, like I said the other day, the other episode, I think the last episode, we talked about fixing your finances. You need money. You need money to, navigate through this waiting room. Going for doctor's appointments is expensive. HMOs don't cover it. Fertility drugs and treatments are expensive. Surrogacy is expensive. Adoption is expensive. IVF is expensive. All of these things take money. So, meaning that when you are married, you have to work together. You have to plan together. Don't spend money anyhow. Just because you have it now doesn't mean you should spend it anyhow. You have to work together as a couple. You have to save. You have to plan ahead. You have to do investments together. You have to have a clear-cut plan of where you are going as a couple. Because when you finish all of this, the child comes, they will constantly need money. They will need money till they are 20. At least 20, sometimes 22, 25. Some people are still feeding their 30-year-olds. Sad as it is, I don't pray that for you or me. But at least till they are 20, you are still going to spend. So you need to work together. You need to plan. So don't spend money anyhow. Don't be wasteful and frivolous with money. You have to work together as a couple to save money and plan together. And for me, the final point today is be in it together. Be in this thing together because you're already in it together. Use this period to bond. This waiting period, use it to bond. Use it to work on your self-care, both of you. Use it to plan for your future. Use it to plan on the kind of children you want to have. Use it to cope with the issues that you're having. Use it to support yourself. Use it to build your self-esteem. Use it to build yourself together. Use it to build your togetherness. Build your bond together. That nobody can cut through that bond that you're going to create with your husband and your wife. Use this period to plan the kind of family you want, where you want to live, what you want to do, the kind of children you want to raise, and how you want to raise the children. This is the time to plan. This is the time to build. This is the time to bond. This is the time to enjoy sex. Trust me, when the children comes, forget it. At least for the next how many months, you are not going to be thinking about it. And use this time to sleep and rest. Watch movies. Go out, have fun. Because the time is coming when you will not remember those things again. Movies will be sounding like this for you. Even to watch a movie on Netflix, sometimes I watch one movie for 3 months. I'll start and end. I'm not able to finish one movie in 3 months. So use this time to work together to get yourself to the place where you need to be. Because trust me, you need each other. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, share. Invite everyone. Tell everyone.